Hi, everyone. Well, thank you so much for being here today for our virtual information session on uncovering Crown Corporation jobs. My name is Maya. I'm here working for WorkBC Centre, West Shore and Souk, and I'm joined by my colleague Brianna. And we are also here as well with Jamie in collaboration with Community Living, British Columbia, who will be giving the bulk of our presentation. So to start off, we would like to have a territory acknowledgement. WorkBC Centre West Shore and Souk recognizes the traditional territories of the Esquimalt, Songhees, Sauk, Shaanu, and Pacheedaht First Nations on which our offices are located, and we are proud to provide employment-related services to these nations. Just to look at our agenda for today, we're going to be starting with a WorkBC Employment Services overview and provide a bit of a background on Crown Corporations before we hand it over to Jamie from Community Living to give the bulk of our presentation. And lastly, we're going to open the floor to any questions and comments at the end. But if you do think of any questions or have any comments throughout, please feel free to pop them in the chat and we will either pick them up throughout the presentation or we'll get to all of them at the end. So to start with our WorkBC Centre Employment Services. WorkBC Employment Services are free and available to all unemployed British Columbians who are seeking employment and are legally eligible to work in BC. Some employed individuals may also be eligible for our services, such as those who are at risk of losing their current job or underemployed British Columbians with a disability. WorkBC centers are located all across British Columbia, meaning that if you do register with our center, but you do happen to move, we can transfer you so that you don't need to start the registration process all over again. WorkBC offers a range of services that support job seekers to improve employment readiness and to find or maintain employment. Additionally, any BC job seeker can access the self-serve resource area of WorkBC Employment Services. Diving right into our services. So as previously mentioned, we have our resource center, which is open to all job seekers. In our resource center, you can have access to our computers for all of your job search needs or access a printer or photocopier for your job search documents. A staff member is also available to assist you if you have any questions or need assistance, and resource services are provided on a drop-in or appointment basis. Next, we have our workshops. The bulk of our workshops are held in person at West Shore and Souk centers. However, we do have some virtual workshops as well. And these workshops cover all aspects of the job search and job retention to ensure that you can achieve your goals. So we offer workshops on topics like resume building, career planning, interview skills, how to access the hidden job market, computer skills, financial literacy, and more. We also have wage subsidy. The wage subsidy program is designed to assist unemployed individuals or underemployed individuals to enhance their skills on the job. Wage subsidy assists the employer when hiring someone who lacks all the necessary skills for a position by offering a percentage of your wages for a duration of up to 24 weeks. We also have personal employment planning. This is where we provide individualized sessions with an employment advisor to build your return to work action plan and help you define your path to success. Job start support. This is where work clothing such as boots or scrubs, tools, and short courses like food safe and first aid can be made available to those who are unable to afford it. We also have job sustainment services. WorkBC centers offer these sustainment services to help you resolve issues impacting your ability to maintain employment. We can provide on-the-job or in-office support from experienced job coaches, and they can help you mediate everything from disputes with your employers to helping you learn new procedures or just gaining insight into today's workplace culture. Last but certainly not least is our job listings and labor market info newsletter. So as a registered client of the West Shore and Souk WorkBC centers, you can receive our newsletter job links. And this daily newsletter features job leads, covers local employment information, as well as employment events and programs. So it's a really great ongoing resource. And to learn more about any of these services, you can look at our website, workbccentre-langford.ca. And just like we're recording our session today so that we can make these workshops and information sessions accessible, all of our previous workshops are recorded and on our YouTube channel. So we really suggest that you guys check these out. We've got topics and workshops on everything from employment standards to two-part goal setting, and more specialized sessions like women in trades, as well as BC Emergency Health Services. And these are ongoing, so there's a lot of resources there. Lastly, this is just our contact information. Please feel free to reach out to us by phone or come and see us in person. We would love to see you. So that concludes our section on WorkBC services. Just to dive into a little bit of background before we hand it off to Jamie and give a little bit of information about Crown corporations. So first, starting with a definition, the BC government defines Crown corporations as public sector organizations established and funded by the government to provide specialized goods and services to citizens. And they operate at various levels of government control and report on their planning, governance, and accountability. Wondering why Crown corporations exist? Crown corporations are generally created to fill a need the government feels is not being met by the private sector, which is either unable or unwilling to provide certain services the government deems necessary or in the national interest. There are many, many Crown corporations just within BC. And today, like we've noted earlier, and who will be doing the bulk of our presentation, we are joined by Community Living BC today as our Crown corporation partner. Diving in to look a little bit more at what are the benefits of working for a Crown corporation and within the public employment sector. So first off, we have wage growth potential. Recent statistics from Statistics Canada and Indeed shows that public sector wage growth is increasing in comparison to the slowing wage growth within the private sector. Public sector workers also enjoy higher wages on average, which is 34.4% higher than in the private sector currently. Another benefit is job security. Where 5.5% of private sector employees experienced job loss, only 1.3% of government workers did. And lastly, in terms of pension and retirement, 83.9% of government workers versus 25.1% of private sectors workers were covered by a registered pension plan. And lastly, government workers retire on average about 2.5 years earlier than their private sector counterparts. So now that we've given a little bit of background on Crown corporations, what they are, why they exist, and their benefits, now I'd like to hand it over to Jamie from Community Living for the bulk of our presentation. So I'm going to stop sharing and Jamie will take over.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you giving me this opportunity to share information about Community Living BC. I have a great presentation for you. Bring it up. Okay, is it showing okay for everyone? All good? Okay, thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here today and talk to you about Community Living BC. I am Jamie Willows. I'm a talent acquisition specialist with CLBC. I've actually been with the organization for over 13 years, and I'm really proud to work for CLBC. I've had incredible opportunities, and so I'm always really excited to get to share this organization with others. Often people do not know about Community Living BC unless you need our services, so I'm really happy to share with you so that you can gain the knowledge about this incredible organization. One thing I wanted to share with you, you can see on the main screen here, we are a Crown corporation and we were selected in 2022 and 2023 as a BC top employer. So I can share a bit with you about why we were selected. So first, though, I want to share with you some information about who Community Living BC is. So we have a bit of a long name. So in short form, we go by CLBC. That's what most people refer to us as. So we are a Crown corporation. People call us Community Living BC, CLBC, Community Living British Columbia. I go by CLBC. So we fund supports and services for adults with developmental disabilities. We have a very specific focus. And we also provide this for individuals who have a diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder or fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. And they have to also have significant difficulty doing things on their own. CLBC was created in 2005 when individuals with disabilities and families came together with government to create a separate Crown Corporation to meet their unique needs. These services used to fall under a ministry, but adults have different needs than children, so CLBC was born from that. So we work with adults in our communities throughout BC that do need support, as well as with their family. They're typically very involved. Also with our community and government partners as well. We contract with service providers to provide the services, such as housing, employment support. If you see an individual out in community and they have a support worker, we would fund the organization that hires that staff. We receive funding from the provincial government, from the Ministry of Social Development and Poverty Reduction. And we provide service to over 23,000 eligible adults in BC. And this typically increases by about 1,000 individuals needing support each year. So it's pretty incredible. We're just growing as an organization. There's more and more people needing support. CLBC is a voluntary service where there are other supports in that government provides that are mandatory or mandated. We are voluntary, so people can choose to use CLBC supports and services if they choose to. Nobody is going to make someone access our services. Some of the services that we fund include support to learn a new skill or get a job, housing, recreational and social activities, and respite for caregivers to give them temporary relief. So that's who we are as an organization. All of our roles at Community Living BC are a piece of the puzzle of providing this support. So I work in people services or human resources. My role has a part of hiring the staff that supports the individuals. So it's pretty incredible. We all have a piece of that. Working at CLBC, though, as an employee is incredibly valuable. Although, it's so wonderful to have employment that's making a difference in our community. But of course, I understand as a job seeker, you want to know what's in it for you as well. Because at the end of the day, you do want to know about benefits and how much money goes into your bank account. So in any job, though, it's more than just your salary that makes up what is called your total compensation package. So here is a sample of what CLBC has to offer. Continuous learning, flexibility. We have great benefits, including like parental leave top-up and pension. We have wellness supports, which I'm going to tell you a bit about. We also work a hybrid schedule. So many of our roles work 2 or 3 days in the office and the rest from home, or they can choose to work from another office in the province. We also do things like tuition and reimbursement if there are courses that are applicable to your current role or a future role at CLBC. So there's so many great benefits available as a CLBC employee. We have roles that many of our roles are more frontline, that are directly working with individuals and families needing support, and that can take a lot out of a person. So you want to make sure that in order to help others, you're helping yourself as well. So at CLBC, Wellness Matters. We have quite a few wellness programs available to our staff, including confidential free counseling. We have a health and wellness program. It's an incentive program for leading a balanced life. And we have our wellness series as well, which are wellness webinars that staff can attend on work time to help with them. So this month we had stress reduction techniques. Last month we had mental health awareness. So it's really, really important that our staff are making sure that they are taking care of themselves as much as they take care of others. So we have 750 staff that are spread throughout the province. We have offices on the mainland, up in, over the Kootenays, the Okanagan, Vancouver Island, and the North. On the island specifically, we are up into Campbell River. We have Victoria, Duncan, Nanaimo, Courtney. So we have many offices on the island. Our largest offices are listed there. Victoria is a really big one. You can view, if you're curious about what all of our offices are, you can go on our website, and under the contact menu, there's a find your local CLBC office. It's great. We have offices with small communities, larger communities, so we are really spread throughout the province. So I want to tell you a bit about the different opportunities at CLBC. The first one here, though, is for Bachelor of Social Work or Child and Youth Care students. So you may know someone, or maybe you're in one of these programs and you would like to work for CLBC. And so you're working on getting the education for some of our most common roles. And so I wanted to share about this because we do host unpaid practicum placements for these degree students. It's a wonderful opportunity. Typically, the universities are 3 to 7 month placements. It's a great way to get into the organization, start gaining some experience, and typically we end up hiring the practicum student once they finish their degree program. But one of the most common positions that we have, which actually those social work and child and youth care programs can lead to, is our facilitator. So when I think about our two most common roles that I'm going to share with you, the facilitator is the people side of what we do. It's working with the individual that has a developmental disability, their family or other supports in their life to help them, figure out what do they need, what do they want, what are their goals and dreams, how can we help them? So the facilitator works on determining eligibility for funding from CLBC, and then going through this really robust planning process to help them figure out, maybe, sometimes an individual comes in and they know exactly what they want. They maybe don't want to live with their parents anymore. So the facilitator will work closely with them to help determine, well, what kind of housing option works. I think I got muted, sorry. I don't know what happened there. Our facilitator role, preference is given to candidates that have a Bachelor of Social Work degree or an equivalent degree, psychology, sociology, child and youth care, even education. We're looking for job seekers that have experience, ideally working in the community living field with children, youth or adults, but often we do hire also people that do not have that experience. They may have experience that is in social services as well. So also we do consider an equivalent. If you do not have a degree, but you have great community living experience, there's some equivalency for that as well. So I share with you here Peter, who is a facilitator in our Victoria office, and he speaks about his great love of his job as a facilitator. So our other most common role is the quality service analyst. So this is more the business, the funding contract side of what we do. So we don't provide the direct service like hiring support workers. We fund those organizations. So the quality service analyst has a portfolio of service providers that they will get to know. They'll get to know what services they provide. They'll negotiate their contracts for funding levels as well as for service levels. They will work closely with those service providers also on, any quality issues or service issues. So this position, we have a preference for a bachelor's degree in business or social work. They're related disciplines as well, psychology, sociology, child and youth care. What we're looking for here is someone that has experience working in the social services sector. So ideally in resource development or contract management. We do see job seekers that come more from like banking or business. Where it can be difficult is not having that social services experience, but sometimes people have that experience just naturally in their life, experience with a relative who has a developmental disability, or perhaps they're volunteering in some sort of capacity with an organization that supports this population. So we do have an equivalency there as well. I introduce you here to Amanda, who is a quality service analyst in our Nanaimo office, and she loves her job as a quality service analyst. So the facilitator and the quality service analyst, those are our two most common positions in the organization, and they are in every office spread throughout the province. So it's a great opportunity. I find sometimes staff will, maybe live in Vancouver and they start as a facilitator and then eventually move. They want to move to Victoria or Kelowna or somewhere to finish off their career. And the job exists there as well, which is really great. One of our other main positions is a contracts clerk. So this is more the administrative position that is available at our organization. So Because we have all of these contracts with our service providers, we need administrative support with that. So the contracts clerk works closely with our service providers on creating those contracts. So this is a great job if you've got, you're good with numbers, you love attention to detail. We're looking here for grade 12 diploma, 3 years admin experience, and you need strong computer skills and typing skills for this one. I introduced you here to Anne, who is in our Victoria office, and she has been a contracts clerk for many years and loves her job. This contracts clerk job also covers like admin support for the office, keeping track of our staff, supporting them with their admin needs, and they also are reception. So when individuals and families come into the office, a contracts clerk will support them to get to a meeting or whatever it is that they need some support with. So these 3 roles I shared with you are in what are called our regional offices. So those offices are located across BC. They provide that frontline support. Also, though, we do have our head office, which is in South Vancouver, and that holds more of a support function to the organization. So departments at head office include like finance, IT, HR, policy, communications. Many of these roles, though, can work from other locations. So I'm going to show you in a bit about what a posting looks like for CLBC. But although you may report to a head office manager in Vancouver, you actually sometimes can work from Victoria. Also at head office is where our executives work. So when it comes to checking out more about CLBC and working at CLBC, I want to direct you to go on our website to the About Us column and look at the Careers at CLBC item in our menu. If you look first at one of our job postings, what I always suggest is, on our job posting page, we often will have many postings. On this day, I took a snapshot, there was 14, sometimes there's more, and you can filter it by job title or location. But what you can do is click on the link to view each posting. We do accept applications only on a specific posting and through our online application system. So when we look at a job posting, you can see on here, and this is just, as an HR professional, I like to share information just in general too, but when you're looking at a job posting, you want to look at the job duties. What are the responsibilities of that role? What's the status? Is it a permanent position or is it temporary? If it is temporary, what are the anticipated hours? Is travel required? The salary details. Many organizations are now required to share the salary. So you can see that as well. And there's a closing date as well. So you can check out our postings and see and check it out, see if it's a role you're interested in. The one nice thing, though, is because so many of our roles exist throughout the province, even if we don't have a posting for that role that interests you right now, you can sign up for our email job alert feature. So this gets you to emailed directly when there are new job postings. So instead of having to come to our website all the time, this will send the information to you and you can just do a quick scan of the email and see, oh, is there a great posting that I'm interested in? If you do have questions about working at CLBC, please feel free to email me at my email address there, clbcpeopleservices@gov.bc.ca. I'm always happy to talk to job seekers and talk more about working at CLBC. Earlier this year, we created a great new section on our website that I encourage you to go check out. It's our Careers at CLBC section. So in here, you can learn more about why we think you should want to work for CLBC, what CLBC has to offer and our current opportunities. We've got some instruction on how to apply on our postings, how to prepare for an interview, and I'm going to share a tip with you for that. And we also have information here for student practicum. So if you're in a social work or child and youth care program, please do connect through there and we can find a placement for you in our offices. One tip that I want to share with you, though, about interviews. So often our interviews will include scenario questions. So we'll pose a hypothetical scenario, and it's really just to get your thought process on how you think you would handle that situation in the role you're being considered for. But we also will always ask behavioral interview questions. So those are the ones you probably have experience with these where they're like, tell us about a time that you did this. So I want to tell you about the STAR method. This is a technique that you can use. It's a structure to provide your answer. I liken it to buckets, situation, task, action, result, and you want to make sure in your story that you're telling that you have enough in each bucket. So this is definitely a tool when you're interviewing at CLBC that you will want to use. It helps you to give a good amount of detail in your answer. Also, though, do go check out our website. I shared with you this career section because there's so much information here that will help you to prepare for your interview. We do love to be social, so we are on a number of social media platforms. One here, I would love for you to connect with our company page on LinkedIn. I will share updates about our current job postings. I've also been doing employee spotlights. So like the staff that were highlighted on our pages today, you can see what they have to say about their role and why they enjoy it. So please go find us there. If you'd like to connect with me on LinkedIn as well, I'm happy for you to do that. We are also, though, on Facebook and on Twitter. So there's really great. Those are more focused on, they're not focused for jobs, like for jobs and employment at CLBC. They're focused on the services that CLBC provides. There's great stories here about individuals receiving support and success stories and just the amazing advocacy work that is happening. So I encourage you to go check that out. Follow these accounts. It's amazing the work that is done to support these vulnerable adults in our community. It's all about everybody in our community getting to have full and connected lives. We all deserve to be a part of our own community. So I do thank you for this time. I'm hoping that there's some questions. Zoom is kind of, I'm going to open up the chat, but I hope that you've got some good questions for me. If you do think, though, of something later, please do not hesitate to reach out. But thank you so much. It was really nice to get to meet all of you, and I do appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jamie, for a really great presentation. And yeah, we'd want to open the floor to any questions. Feel free to unmute yourself or pop them in the chat. If you don't have any questions at the moment, but you want to reach out afterwards to get those, we will be sending up a follow-up email with the email that you used to register for this with just our contact information. So it's a little bit easier for you all to reach out.
Great. Yes. Thank you.
So maybe we'll leave it for like a couple more seconds. We'll see if anybody has a question, and if not, we will end it here for today. You know, sometimes it's a rush for people to put together their questions.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, that's totally fine. It's okay if you're just taking in the information.
No. Yeah, once again, everyone, if you do think of any questions, keep an eye out in your email. There'll be contact information going out to you very soon. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here today. We hope you found the presentation valuable. Also, feel free if you ever have feedback of something that you want to see or would like to see next time. We are always open to feedback. Otherwise, I think we'll say a big thank you to Jamie for an incredible presentation, and we will end that here today.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, everyone, so much.
Thank you.